Every year, a fake organization calling themselves the Satanic Temple, which doesn't even have a temple and isn't even an organization, it's just a group of a dozen or so online trolls. But every year they demand that a satanic display be put up on public property, usually at state capitals, right next to nativity scenes.
Here in Illinois, the Satanic Temple has unveiled its holiday display in the Illinois Capitol Rotunda. Check it out here. This year's display has a crocheted snake. It is wrapped around apples and a book. Temple members say the display is meant to bring attention to the controversy over banned books this year. This is now the third year that they have put up a display. All displays are flanked by a sign stating that the state may not legally censor that public space.
Something for everyone.
Imagine for a moment if they targeted a prominent Muslim holiday like Ramadan, or tried to desecrate a Jewish holiday like Hanukkah. The Jewish ADL would have them banned from social media by the end of the day, and then file a lawsuit against them for the intentional infliction of emotional distress. But most Christians do or say nothing when people blaspheme Christ. Meanwhile, the ADL is trying to get Christmas arts and crafts time shut down in public schools.
Santa Claus is not considered to be a religious symbol for constitutional purposes. So asking students to draw a picture of something that's not deemed religious is constitutional. But I'm sure Michelle has a lot to say about why, even though this is technically constitutional, why an assignment like this is nonetheless problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of the constitutionality, when we're thinking about a respectful school environment, I think there are a lot of red flags that we see in this scenario. Not everyone, celebrates Christmas. Not everyone believes in, a Santa Claus or has that sort of celebration. So it's really important that when we're creating assignments, we're thinking about who's in our classroom, what is the message that we're sending?
There could be something simpler, which is just, instead of asking students to paint anything specifically, draw something draw someone who's important to you, or something that's important to you. And some kids might draw Santa, some kids might draw their grandparent. That's much simpler.
There's something called assimilation, which is the respectable thing to do when people come to America. But when somebody suggested that certain people assimilate to America's cultural customs, the liberal media industrial complex went nuts. Jacob Wall says that they must have Christmas decorations to assimilate in the United States. Actually, he posted on Gab, because he's banned on Twitter, that he recommended it. He said that maybe they should. He didn't make a demand that they must. But of course, the lying liberal media twists everything around in a false light. These days, Christmas is basically a secular holiday in America. Most non-Christian Americans still celebrate Christmas, even though they couldn't care less, sadly, about Christianity. And most don't even know that the name Christmas is derived from Christ's Mass, the celebration of the birth of Jesus. But you're not supposed to talk about Jesus these days because that offends certain people, some more than others. This from the London Guardian: Christians must understand that for Jews, the cross is a symbol of oppression. I guess we should just ban nativity scenes from people's front yards, or crucifixes from churches, or maybe just churches altogether. This is an op-ed from NBC News, not BuzzFeed or the Huffington Post. NBC News about the war on Christmas, saying that there is no war on Christmas and that Jews who have to leave the house in December feel uncomfortable because there's an onslaught of Christmas music and Christmas decorations. It says that liberals can be just as bad as their conservative counterparts when it comes to enforcing an oppressive Christmas climate. It's oppressing them. Could you imagine if Americans emigrated to Japan or South Korea and then started complaining about those countries' long-held cultural customs and traditions? For many Marxists, Christmas isn't gay enough, so now Netflix, the Hallmark Channel, Lifetime all have gay Christmas specials, and I'd be willing to bet that by next year, Disney will as well. Last year, RT, Russia Today, the state-sponsored anti-American propaganda news network, produced this segment mocking wokeness in America.
Christmas Tolerance Diversity Guide.
We all know that Christmas is a family holiday. So make sure all your parents are properly numbered. This year, follow the agenda and make a snow woman instead of snowman. Or even better, let the snow person decide for themselves.
You know things are bad when enemy propaganda made by a foreign adversary about your own country is actually correct. Some snowflakes are even upset about the film Elf, which came out 20 years ago almost now, starring Will Ferrell, because it mocks people with mental deficiencies. This from Business Insider: Elf makes fun of disabled adults through Buddy, whether purposefully or not. Well, liberals are mentally disabled, so I guess in a sense, they're right. But if Christmas offends you for any reason at all, maybe you should just celebrate Festivus instead, the holiday from the Seinfeld sitcom. Just go to the hardware store and get yourself an aluminum pole and set it up in your living room, because obviously you're already airing your grievances. For all you normal people out there, Merry Christmas. And is there something I'm forgetting?
And God bless us, everyone.
That's right. God bless us, everyone.